Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 597, recording on March 19th, 2025. I'm your host, Dustin.
I am Discount Rambo from Wish, Tony.
And I'm Kyle.
No
Special name this week.
I feel like I need a special name that, I know isn't a single syllable. Yeah, it's good to see you guys. I wasn't on last week. I hope you're all doing well. This week we're going to be taking a break on our main topic from our Canadian retailer extravaganza special. Let's move right into what we did in guns, I suppose. What we did in guns is not currently sponsored. If you'd like to sponsor one of our segments, please send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. And we'd love to have you. I guess I'll start. Talk about what I did in guns this week. I guess actually 2 weeks because I wasn't on last week thanks to the power outage that we had. Seriously, an hour before the show started, and the power blinked out until 11. Anyway, so I did go out to the range. I actually went and shot with a buddy of mine that I haven't hung out with in over a year, and hilariously, all of his guns are still legal. Four of them. So we shot some SKSs, shot some shotguns, shot some pistols. I brought out a few things, and we both brought out an SKS, and I guess that's the only semi-auto that's still Canada safe for now. But it was actually kind of fun. It's been a long time since I've shot my SKS, and I forgot how entertaining it can be. It was a really good time. We just kind of blasted away. I think folks can forget how fun shooting with friends can be sometimes. We obviously competitions are great, and lots of training and practice and all those things, but just kind of that laid back shooting with a buddy is also good times. Also clean some guns. This is also very important. If you have an SKS, you must clean it afterwards, especially if you have any question about what ammo you were shooting, or you will pay the consequences. I have not paid the consequences. I'm pretty obsessive about cleaning my SKS after I shoot it. But I have cleaned up other friends' SKSs that have not had same mantra.
Well,
yeah.
At what part? I was always curious because I didn't want to experience it, but because a lot of the internals would be chrome lined, which part do you usually see the rust?
BCG.
Okay.
The BCG, okay. I've seen a couple now where you open it and it just spits out rust, and you're just the whole bolt face is just completely rusted over. But yeah, usually the barrels are okay, but not all of them are chrome lined.
What about the piston?
I would definitely rip everything apart after. I think that whole tube needed to be cleaned up after, if I recall. It's been a long time since I've had to clean one up. I've cleaned up a couple for friends who back when SKSs were $150, I got a lot of friends into shooting, a lot of friends in the film industry, and you're there was one that was really bad, and I think that was my recommendation, where I was you should probably get this demilled, put it on the wall, and go buy yourself another, because it's just not worth saving. But it is what it is. But yeah, so if you have an SKS and you want to shoot it, that's awesome. You should definitely do that, but just make sure that you observe some kind of cleaning ritual afterwards. There's lots of stuff on the internet for how to meticulously clean those so you don't get rust. Anyway.
And that will also apply to your Mosins, your Tokarevs, some of the Lee Enfield rifles. The British Milsurps did have corrosive as well. So honestly, if you have any kind of an older rifle,
if you're shooting Milsurp anything, especially if you're shooting, Milsurp ammo or any ammo that anything that didn't come out of a box from one of the big name brands in the last 10 years, clean your gun. You'll thank me later. But yeah, so I reread the field officer manual this week, which was, I don't know if I ever read the field officer manual. I don't think it existed when I first became a field officer. But I'm going to be working the CCFR booth at the BC Outdoor Show all weekend this weekend. So come say hi, by the way, if anybody's listening or watching and wants to say hi to me, or more importantly, some of the more cool folks that might be at the CCFR booth. Come on down it's in Chilliwack. I can't remember the name of I think it's the Trade X, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, so I reread the Field Officer Manual because there's like some show prep stuff in there, and just wanted to brush up. It's been a long time since I've done a show. I wrote Karen'd out. I wrote a letter to my MP about being uninvited to to his local Liberal election watch party, and asked some questions about his support for the most recent gun bans. I know the answer, but I still wrote the letter, and asked if he has any plans on running on any of those gun bans. I gave an American friend a tour of my gun collection, had another American buddy come up, and he was, impressed. I have more guns than him, a lot more guns than him, but yeah, not that many of them were legal.
You didn't ask him to bring you some tariffed items like orange juice?
No, I'm surprisingly, like, the tariffs, I'm not really super affected by them in my kind of day to day. Not yet. Knock on wood. Yeah, and then I did some dry fire practice because my handgun game's still not great, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I gotta brush that up this year. There's actually a match going on this weekend that I was like excited for, but it's the same weekend that I'm kind of committed to doing the CCFR booth. So opening match this year, I'm not gonna go to. I'm the sad, but I'm also not the sad because I could probably use some more practice before I go and shoot amongst my peers. But instead, get some dry fire practice while watching one of my newest guilty pleasure shows, Desperate Housewives. Tony, you were asking about this shirt.
I really like it.
Now, for anybody that is listening, not watching, I'm wearing a shirt of one of the characters, Bree. She happens to be this Republican, quote unquote, gun nut because she owns like 4 guns, according to her husband. She's an absolutely wonderful character. The show is just wild.
Those are rookie numbers. I need to pump those numbers up.
Yeah, literally. But I will say that as far as like a media representation of like a right-wing gun nut, I don't know if it's the writer, if it's the actress, if it's a combination of those things. Some care and respect was put into her love and interest for firearms. Every time a firearm has been present and like she's been involved in it in any way, I have been left with the impression that was my favorite depiction of a gun owner in media, which is saying so. Now, admittedly, this is just like references from season 1 and season 2. I've never watched the show until now. My partner just got me into it. We started watching it recently, but I really did appreciate that, and I think that's cool. There's not enough of that stuff in media. Anyway, that's it for me. Tony, what did you do in guns?
So shot the second shotgun IPSC style match of BTSA. And surprisingly, I was the only person with a bandolier, hence the whole discount ramble part. Also from Wish, because from China, you get the idea. How do I say? It works decent, and apparently you cannot shoot IPSC shotgun with a bandolier. We did expand. It's an outlaw match, so we did expand the divisions to include some of the 3-gun divisions. We called it TAC Ops. Maybe it doesn't really have anything to do with that. But I did pretty okay single loading, so I'm pulling one out, pulling one out, pulling in. It's so if I wear it the other way around, maybe I can do it.
Have you put any like the like 5 or 6 round like shotgun like cards that go along the side that hold like 5 or 6 rounds?
No, I haven't tried that. No,
dude, that will update your shotgun game quite substantially. All of my shotguns have that thing now. All of them.
I can't even say if that's any faster than this.
It is when you're when you've got your gun here. I'm sorry, this is just like when you've got your gun here and you need to like feed quickly, like this movement versus coming down here, like you can in your field of view see everything. So like you're not dropping the shotgun. There's a lot that you're not doing when you're feeding off of one of those cards. And there's like mine, I think have 5 or 6. I think 6. But then you keep a couple extra ones on you and just rip them, throw away when you're done with them.
would be a little bit more solid than the bandolier across. I mean, I would say if you get ordering Wish or Alibaba, get some caddies. But
yeah,
I wanted to ask about the divisions. You said you had a TAC Ops division. So what was different about TAC Ops versus standard?
It was a little bit more open, so to speak. You can run a bandolier, you can run some, I guess, more odd carrying options. You can run optics on your pump gun. It's a little unconventional. Let's put it. I don't think there's a tube restriction, so I wanted to meme. So maybe I'll get.
There's no tube restriction in standard.
I want to get a KSG.
Oh,
so I can meme real hard. It's not like I'm gonna get competitive in this anyway. Golly, the good caddies.
Not
are
with
so
a
expensive.
KSG, you're not.
No, but 25 rounds. I don't know
so
if they
just
restricted that.
Well, I think we should clear that up for people listening. So with the bandolier not being legal for IPSC, so at IPSC, even a chest rig, if you had a chest rig that we use in IPS or in 3-gun, would not be legal because all reloads must come from the belt for IPSC. Yeah. I mean, at IPSC outlawed. I mean, you guys did your thing with the TAC Ops, but I mean, you like even at nationals, we put them. We had our chest rigs, but when we put them on, we basically put them over our belt.
Interesting. Yeah, so that would be one thing too. You could use a chest rig in TAC Ops, but again, it's an outlaw match. It's not like we're paying a lot of attention on the whole competitor equity thing, but it's just they kind of open up the division a little bit.
You can be outlaw and still worry about competitor equity. But,
that's fair. That's fair. But
no, it's
second match. You know,
sounds like it was a great match though.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of fun. I think I was faster than the competitors who are using shotgun cards. So I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I mean,
maybe.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fair. Have you not thought about 3D printing yourself some shot caddies?
Yes, but I'm just lazy.
Fair. That's legitimately fair. Mine took me way longer than I thought they would for like a novelty, but yeah, that's fair.
And also I have to retrain everything. It's not like I've shot competitively with this before, but I've loaded from this before, so it's something. I'm not familiar with the platform. I'm not familiar with loading a tube. So I keep thinking I only have 5 rounds, but in fact I have 5 plus 1 round. Right. So every time I think I empty, I have 1 more round, which I guess helped out, but
yeah, you don't have to load the chamber.
Yeah, it's just
your shotgun that you got back there? That
yep,
500?
That's it's a Winchester SXP made in Turkey, run pretty well. I did get this short barrel, which is very unconventional, does take chokes. So I did swap in a mod choke. That did help, I believe.
Yeah.
I didn't do a side-by-side, but for example, some of the competitors who are running 590s with their very traditional cylinder bores were struggling a bit more on the spinner, for example. But I'm not great with the hold on this thing. It doesn't really have a great aiming system. Maybe I'll stay with TAC Ops. This is going to be more of a casual competition thing. And I'll just put a dot on it, which will still keep me in the same division, giving me maybe a little bit of an advantage.
You got the pump action. Why don't you make a run for manual division? Get that tricked out, get the caddies, and it is pretty sure it's not going to take you long to learn quad loading or load 2s, and actually make a run for manual.
Because Taylor is in manual. We have a professional shotgunner who is in manual.
Why? What?
So you just don't want to compete?
No.
On Taylor, I talked to Mark Roth over the weekend, and we got some stuff to get his standard going, possibly.
Oh, as in standard semi-auto?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I will still be slow. Like, the guns at a match, the amount of Nova speeds that came out of the woodworks is unbelievable. Like, a third of the people are shooting.
It's not just the gun. It's not just the gun.
I know.
Get an extension tube on that. It's still a pump action, just like the Nova speeds. It's not just the gun.
I'm still not going to be that fast.
You can be. Trust me. Tony.
I don't know if I want to invest in this, though.
Tony, you know what?
You could do it without a huge investment.
Yeah, like wait, is it you don't want to invest the time and training?
Maybe.
Because like
It
honestly,
depends.
I still stand by. I know this is what we did in Guts. I still stand by, the benefits of everybody getting trained with a shotgun, because it seems like they're the last guns standing, pretty much stinking everywhere in the planet. Like when they get done taking all the rifles away, they're still shotguns, and it's worth having that training.
You know what? That's how I'm gonna show up. I'm not gonna show up with caddies if that's the case. The amount of yard sale with caddies I've seen, like half of the rounds are on the ground. I don't lose anything.
No, that's fair.
Just saying.
Well,
Just saying.
I'm not saying you have to get caddies, but like, I mean, you still should. It's worth practicing. Have you modified that gun in any way? Did you like take the Dremel, open up the no, nothing?
You cannot open up your port in TAC Ops. Again, I think it's a very made up division, but also there's two sides of TAC Ops. There's TAC Ops pump and TAC Ops automatic. So this is already in the lower division.
Okay.
And you can still put optics on it. So I might do that. There was a slug stage, and I was like giving all the targets haircuts. Like barely made it into the perf. I got lucky. I got lucky on that. And I did beat Taylor because he escaped the match early. So I shot 100% more of the match and just barely edged it out. So I don't think I'm winning yet. Yeah, we also see a few other guns on the line. There was a 930 on the line that didn't perform too well. That was having ejections issues, which is unfortunate. I don't know if that gun was cleaned properly or not, but apparently you need a lot of cleaning with a 930. But
yep.
TAC Ops, are you allowed a ported choke or ported barrel?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Well, outlaw divisions.
So it's kind of like in between standard and modified.
Manual. Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. And then you have some chest rig options, I guess. The 1301s in different flavors all shot pretty well. It seems the 950s did decent. As I mentioned, most of them don't have choke options, so they just struggle a bit. Like for spinners and stuff, your legal minimum engagement distance, like what, 10, 12 yards?
Yeah.
And so you're kind of a little bit out there already. You want to maximize the amount of pellets on target, and without chokes, it's a little bit different. Oddly, I found them sounding very good. The noise of them chambering and the pump, just it had a very, I don't know, from an audio perspective, very rounded profile. I don't know why. It's just when I'm doing a tablet, I know that gun has went onto the stage.
Wow.
It was very odd. It sounded different to all the other pump guns. I'm not sure why.
I get that.
So yeah, it was a fun match, and I think we will have more coming up. So if you're in the Calgary area, do definitely check us out. We're on Practice Score, and the matches are open to the public.
Cool. Touch on
yeah, of course.
Sure. Bodie just commented, what's the opinion on mag-fed shotguns like the Citadel Boss 25? Well, you're automatically open, and he's actually down here. He's vice president of our club. We'll take that Citadel out, Bodie, and we'll see how it goes. I know you were having some issues with it, but that might be just break-in. So.
Oh, I forgot. I think TAC Ops pump allows you to have a mag-fed pump action.
So like a detachable mag fed.
Yeah, you can have a detachable mag. I really wanted a gun. Open is a little different because most of the Typhoon AR MSR platformed shotgun are all gone now. I talked to the match director, and what he wanted to do is you can use a different gun each stage. It's kind of a fun division he envisioned, as in, okay, there are some, because of the Canadian round limit, there are some stages that's more beneficial for you to have a pump gun. So you're going to bring out a large capacity pump gun, and a standard semi-auto, and you will be able to switch your guns around throughout the match to gain the most amount of benefits. That's really just a fun idea.
Anybody running like a Versamax or a 1301 or anything really should still be able to run like 7 in the tube, 1 in the pipe, and ghost load 1. Like I think for the most part, like 9 rounds is kind of like you're not going to get much more than that. And even a 590, like the 590, what's that max out at? 8 plus 1, 9, maybe 10
plus 1.
My 590 holds 8.
Oh, if you have, I think the 20-inch holds 8.
Yeah.
20.
But like, unless you've gone and properly gamer gunned your pump guns, you've got like a ridiculous tube on the end, which I guess you could.
Mm-hmm.
You
I don't know if they said if you can shoot at KSG 25 or not.
I mean, yeah, that's the question, right? I don't know.
There was no unloaded start, so it was possible, I guess.
I don't know. I think I'll probably like stick with a semi-auto like tube-fed shotgun as long as humanly possible, and just bite the bullet with respect to the mag capacity restrictions.
Adriel, is that a single tube? Like,
yeah, that would be.
Oh, I've
seen the 13s, the long swords.
And for the listeners who are curious, maybe how my bandolier is set up, what I found to be most effective is you want to put it on your weak shoulder and then brass down. That's easiest for me anyway. You could go strong shoulder, brass up, but it gets a little bit more awkward. And anyway, you'll figure it out. And last piece I have is Savage. They actually got back to me on the warranty.
Oh.
The communication was decently quick after the initial contact was made. So like our back and forth is pretty quick. They want the whole gun back. So likely it will go back to Ontario. I've asked for a shipping label. They said they can provide that, but I haven't got that yet.
Yeah, well, they just have to actually crank it out and email it to you, right?
Right, but it's been more than 24 hours.
I mean,
so I'm thinking if they're regretting the decision to send me a shipping label.
I doubt it. I mean, like, if you went a week without a response, I'd be concerned. But like 24 hours, that's not the biggest thing in the world.
The first responses, I think, all come in within an hour. So
no, I get that. But like, whoever's doing the actual shipping labels might not be the person that you're dealing with, right?
True.
So
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's getting warmer, so I might shoot it again before sending it out. It's still a hassle. I still have the box, so that's not a problem, but I still have to send it out, wait for it to come back. Whole thing. Anyway, let's go to Kyle next.
Let's go to Kyle.
Okay. Well.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
I was waiting, and then okay. So last week I wasn't on the show because, well, it was absolute chaos. Got to Arizona Monday. Well, actually, first off, like, I left early. Well, actually not early. I got mid-morning, Monday morning to drive there, and decided that I was going to drive through Moriarty up by Albuquerque because I was going to stop by Ergo. Turned out, even though their door and the website says that they're open on Monday, they're not.
Oh, no.
Are you sure they didn't go to the match? You're sure they didn't just go out to the match instead of being in the store?
Yes, they didn't have a booth set up, and but he's like, we're closed Monday. I was like, oh, okay. Because there was like a couple people working in the shop, and they were heading out, but oh well. I mean, kind of sucks, but that's all right. I have lots of Ergo stuff anyways. But so yeah, and I had a peaceful night of sleeping before because everyone was flying in around 10 o'clock Tuesday morning. So I stopped and put out the tent on the Jeep overlooking Scottsdale and Mesa and camped overnight.
Dude, I am so envious of some of your camping stuff. You have no idea. That one in particular, it was gorgeous.
Oh, it was, and I I lucked out. I was looking at the map and okay, well, I kind of want to be off the highway by this time. Okay, that looks like I might be able to get a decent view, and it was quite literally the end of the trail. I couldn't drive any further, and view was there. So it was like, yeah, that was an awesome, peaceful night before the chaos began, and it was chaos all week. So yeah, Tuesday picked guys up from the airport, gave rides to rental vehicles, and got everyone together. Did some running around and got into our house. It was absolutely gorgeous house, and just 5 minutes from the range. And yeah, massive, like 20-foot ceilings, but there was 10 of us in there, so we needed to rent a big house, and that's the only way to make that one affordable. So then, yeah, everyone was starting to pull out gear. We were starting to do some builds because we had enough parts to just get started on some of the builds. And then, yeah, Tuesday morning, I had lined up for Timney tour, so took everyone for the tour of Timney. And yeah, did a little bit more shopping, and then Tuesday was just basically a build day and whatever. Go finish grabbing parts and build. And then Wednesday morning we went to Dillon. I had lined up a tour for everybody at Dillon Precision, so got to go see the process for all the reloaders and whatnot. And they still have, like, it's still in the building with the hangars, so they had their Huey there. Got to stand and talk to the mechanic / pilot of the Huey. So he's the guy that they basically maintains that, so that when they say, hey, we're going to go out and play, strap a minigun to it or whatever, it's okay. Yeah, it's ready to go.
That is awesome.
So pretty cool conversation with him. And then they showed us the 2 sea cans that have all their fun toys. They call it the machine gun nest. And that was really funny. Like, everyone loved it. Like, there's miniguns, M2s, like they're MP5s, Thompson. Like, there was, it seemed like there was everything there.
Right.
But I sent you guys a picture, and it was funny because I was warned, it's like, well, it's like a 25-year-old keeps their room, and quite literally everything was just strewn over the floor. So you see in the picture, like, there's a minigun just laying on the floor, bunch of, like, Soviet full autos, and M2 just sitting on the floor. Like, okay,
to break your heart.
It's cool. All right. But so yeah, we did that, and then we went to the range, and we were a little bit later. So we were planning on sighting in on Wednesday because that would give us time to fix some errors and whatnot. But we were a little bit later in the afternoon, and the weather on Thursday wasn't supposed to be great, but we were a little bit later. So we decided instead we were just gonna go walk stages. Got most of my stage walking done on Wednesday, and then Thursday we did all the sighting in of everything, confirmed 0, tuning on a few of the rifles, and finished. Well, didn't quite get to finish up the walking because by the time, like, we finished up at the range and the wind was starting to blow, so I actually ended up going and walking 1 stage, and I only had like 3 stages left after that to walk, and I got getting told, nope, they're by people who had walked them, that no worries, they're not super complicated, they're pretty straightforward. So yeah, and then Friday the match started. We shot afternoon Friday. I won't go into too many details on the match itself because we're going to do that as the main topic. But overall, my match didn't go too bad. So we shot Friday afternoon, Sunday morning, or Saturday and Sunday morning. So it was like 4, 4, and 3 for stages. And yeah, it went not too bad. Like I said, we'll go over more of that in the main topic. But while in Arizona, I ended up picking up a couple things. So this is actually all build related that I'm going to show right now. Well, actually, here. So one of the gifts that they gave with your shooter bag, they did up these commemorative mags. So it was their 30th annual. So it was just a few of their old matchbook covers.
Are they hydro dipped, or how would?
I
Print?
don't.
Hydro dipped.
They're printed. Like I don't think they're hydro dipped. Like they're. I think they're printed. It doesn't. No, maybe it is hydro dipped.
It kind of looks like they did like a print on a hydro dip. Like just I don't know. I don't have it in my hand.
I don't have that much experience with stuff that's hydro dipped to know what it feels like. Just what I imagine it feels like. But Bodie's saying laser engraved. Can you get the color like that, Bodie, in laser engraving? If you can, that's awesome. But
yeah, I've never seen laser engraving that many vibrant colors. That's really crazy.
But so we'll get to. Actually, no, I'm gonna wait on this one. While we were at Timney, I picked up a few things. So
I feel like this guy won something.
No, I didn't do good enough to pull anything off the table, and I wouldn't have it in my hands right now, anyways. So, I mean, I did pull stuff off the table, but I picked up a trigger for 1022. So 1022 build, just got a little bit more along the way.
Oh yeah.
I decided to grab the Kelvin Elite for 1022.
Well, yeah, of course. What else are you gonna grab?
Well, yeah. So yeah, now I have receiver, trigger, and barrel. I just need stuff to make it work.
Did Trump
all the important parts.
Put a tariff on the SBI ultralight or no? So did Trump put a tariff on the SBI ultralight?
I don't know. I mean, I got gray birch down here and that, so.
It's not
Yeah, Adriel, you're on track to be done that build by 2030. Yeah, pretty much.
Just
Every year I'll get something new for it. I did pick up a couple things for the ridiculous build, though. So we were out, and so I picked up a pistol brace for it.
I thought that build was like 3 years in the making so far.
No, I picked up the receiver last year off the table.
Oh, so we're not even a year into
I'm a year, and
it's
getting there. It's actually
getting a lot faster. Yeah.
So yeah, I picked up the pistol brace, and then Luth AR was there, and I got looking at their barrels. So then I picked up an 11-inch.
Yeah.
A2.
Not quite a kitty cat, eh?
Not quite. This just gets it built, and then I can make it more ridiculous as it goes.
That's super cute. I want it.
So act like that.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, with the quad stack mag, like.
Oh, that's that's so bananas. How many rounds is that again?
53.
Oh, not even 60. What?
And Luth AR in our goodie bags gave us the double wing grip. So right now I have that on there with the nice fat base on there. You know, something you would put on an accurized rifle, but
you know what? It each their own. I like the two little wings, like to your middle finger to rest on. Like I really like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. These things, stuff that put your grip somewhere, usually and pretty much never fit my hands.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. So, but numerous talking, like this is just 223 barrel. We'll see what down the road, but I'm gonna do, I think, quad rail.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I mean,
well, how else are you gonna do it? You already have the front side post.
Well, no, you could do the classic, like the round or whatever.
I'll do a quad rail on it.
Do a quad rail.
Sawmall all the way.
We were talking the brake.
Yeah.
Do you remember JP's recoil eliminator?
Oh my god, yes. Oh,
how many ports does that thing have?
Oh yes.
Two big ones, and it's just massive.
Yeah,
like it's the brake that basically made 3-gun put size restriction, so it's like what is it, 1 inch diameter, 3 inches length is what 3-gun typically has for the maximum size limit of a brake. That recoil eliminator is absolutely ridiculous.
I don't remember them looking like either a car exhaust or a tank brake.
You're just building like a cursed meme gun now, right? Like that's
the ridiculous build, something you would never think of building.
Yeah, that's great. This makes me happy.
Yeah. So yeah, the ridiculous build is coming along nicely, slowly, but not as slow as the 1022.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm actually taking the 1022 a little bit more serious. So it's how much money do I want to sink at it at what time kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's going to be a forever gun for you at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Like, well, yeah. But then I got, so the group pulled 2 lowers off the table. And so obviously they can't bring them home. So I got 2 lowers off the table.
Nice.
And basically, so I'm going to be building, I got to build more rifles for next year.
Yeah.
And so those will be more serious builds. And yeah, just basically I'm going to have a fleet of 3-gun rifles.
Team rifles. So
3-gun rifles that people come down. Oh, okay, here you go. Go shoot.
Sweet. So when I come for a visit, you'll have a gun for me.
Already do.
Love it. I'm going to be down in New Mexico this summer, so just saying. Yeah.
We'll have to talk. But yeah, so Bachelor's good. Got a bunch of stuff. Got home Sunday night, and people are sending me with ammo and everything, and of course work has been crazy since I got home. So one of these nights, my wife's gonna get upset because everything, my truck was absolutely full, and it's out in dining area and living room still, because I have to figure out where I'm putting everything. That being said, the amount of stuff I brought out there all came from this room, and I had it laid out, and I don't know how I had all that stuff in this room. But yeah, went on for a bit. I'm going to be talking more later on, so we'll continue on.
All right. So let's move on to upcoming events. Upcoming events is not currently sponsored either. Again, reach out to us at slamfireradio@gmail.com if you're interested in sponsoring one of our segments. So we are taking a break this week from the Canadian retailer, series that we've been doing. Mostly because we're just irresponsible and didn't line up anybody this week. And Kyle's story was much more interesting than just listening to us ramble. Ordinarily, Kelly and Adriel would read upcoming Maple Seeds, but I'm gonna, just as soon as they open up.
April 26th, Ontario, Brawny Rifle and Pistol Clubs.
Frontenac.
Sure, sorry. And then there's a doubleheader in May 24th, 25th, Sherwood Park Fish and Game. I bet Adriel will be there.
That's all that matters for now.
June 28th, there will be one in New Brunswick, Havelock Sportsman Club. And we're going to the summer, but those will be later. And I bet there will be probably more coming up in the spring times soon enough.
Yeah, there'll definitely be more. Keep an eye out on Maple Seed's website for those as they pop up. Kelly did a calendar signing. She's not here to talk about it. I'm sure it was really awesome. IPSC Nationals. That's all the information I have. Just IPSC Nationals.
I don't think it was updated.
I don't think it was either.
I might be going there for.
You gotta get in touch with Ken and line that up.
Yeah, it looks like Hunting Gear Guy has some firearms training March 22nd, March 23rd at SPFGA. I Sherwood Park Fishing Game Club. That makes sense.
I believe non-restricted is already full. Restricted still have a few spots.
Come on, folks, get your restricted license. It's a great thing to have. It's going to be useful soon. And then April 5th and 6th in Devon. And then, don't forget the CCFR AGMs happening at the end of June, I believe, like June 28th. I could be wrong. I had everything open, and then my computer started freaking out, so I closed it all. I don't know. It doesn't like Chrome very much. Moving right along.
Did you guys last week? Did you guys announce Chaz's dates?
Did you guys announce Chaz's dates?
I believe so.
Okay,
great. I don't have those here. I'm sorry.
I wasn't gonna read them off. I was gonna say go to their website page or their Facebook page. They posted the divisions they're gonna run this year and all their dates. So
go check out the Chaz 3-gun page. They're awesome. I literally just have a bullet point that says 3-gun, so I think somebody started to update it and then didn't. I'm holding Tony personally responsible.
Sure, 3gun.ca. I don't even think it's updated right now.
Anyway,
Again, I'm not a 3gun guy.
No, it's all good.
I don't know how much there's going to be happening. I know Peace River's going to do. Sherwood Park and Chaz. That's basically all I know.
I think
bet
this is gonna...
CDTSA would, Calgary District, but we'll see.
I think it's going to be a lot of 2-gun plus this year, if I can be honest. I think
really weird divisions.
Really, really weird. I think this is just going to be the year for fun stuff, you guys. Just, the year to remember. All right, moving on. So news. No news is often good news. Hasn't been any dramatic bad news in the firearms game since last week. We do have something here, gun ban press conference breakdown from Brent Indian debacle. I don't know. What's his name?
I think Soapbox Gun did a
Soapbox Guns. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Again, it just freaking out when I open these things up for some reason. Tony, would you do me a favor? I'm going to read off the new gun stuff, but would you be so kind as to open it up and screen share? Just because mine started freaking out. I don't know.
Sure, let me try that.
So moving on to new gun stuff. And again, our sponsor spot is vacant. We are interested in you. If you are a firearms retailer or of the sort that would like to sponsor on our show, please give us a message on slamfireradio@gmail.com and we will get back to you. But yeah, so it looks like our very first thing, you got the Opus Venator. I kept thinking it was ventilator. It says Legao Alien at home if your home is Switzerland. So it looks like Switzerland still got handguns. Not shocking. And brace yourselves for the second here. Tony's going to screen share. Oh, yeah. It's actually pretty cool looking, hey?
Yeah.
And the price point, I think, was like around a grand. What was the MSRP? Yeah, it was right around 1,000 euros, 950 euros.
No. That's the
I'm
upgrade
closer
kit.
to.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Ignore me. Yeah. I wish it was that cheap. No, 4,250 euro for the basic system, and then the upgrade. Okay, so yeah, we're into this thing for $5,000. Thank you. I'll say that's folks got to learn to put a strike around white, so you can actually define it. Anyway, but yeah, that's
$5,000 euros.
Yeah, I know. It's like $7,000 with our Kanaki pesos.
Wait. Is this $7,000? Is it $5,000 euros or $5,000 Swiss franc?
Oh,
looks like euro to me.
Yeah, looks like euro, but I'm
a pleb. I haven't had to worry about euros in years. But all right, moving on, because we don't live in Switzerland and we can't buy and sell handguns. The next on the list is Go Tenda. We've got a Savage A22. It is
very fancy.
Very fancy. What's the sale price on that right now? Looks like
$518.
Yeah, $518 down from $689.
That is correct.
That's a pretty good deal. Yeah, I don't know, 22 LR, a nice little $500 really fancy 22. That's a
would prefer it if it was a bolt action, personally.
Yeah, you can be wrong. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Cabela's has some Blazer 9mm brass case on sale for kind of like pre-pandemic prices, like $17.98. That's a pretty solid deal for a box of 9mm these days. And that obviously you can buy it cheapish and stack it as deep as humanly possible.
So that'll be $360 per sal. Is that correct?
That's not bad. I don't have a calculator in front. It's incalculable. It's an unknowable amount.
I think you can still get better prices if you are buying by the sal, but
yeah,
if you need a box or two, this will be a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I always say support our local small town retailers before you go to the big box stores, but at the same time, that's a good deal, or at least a goodish deal, so something to be aware of. Looks like there is a Howa 1500. This is Prophet River. I can't read that.
6.5 Grendel mini action, pillar bedded, 22-inch. That doesn't look like a standard barrel. It looks like a stainless barrel to me. 2-stage trigger, $1,100, 12 available.
What's the normal
price? It does not say.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, it's interesting and made. There's a few interesting caliber. Well, Yeah, interesting calibers. It's the general suspects, I guess. If you have a Ruger American Wrench, for example, 6 arc, which is probably the most unique one, 223, 65 Grando, 762, 39, 350 Legend.
Okay, so there's a couple of different rounds
Yep.
there. Cool. So I mean, I don't know, could be a good deal if that's what you're in the market for. It doesn't have what the other price was, so I couldn't tell you. Oh look, there they are. Do you want to pop over to this Norinco JW15A compact hiker? So I'm actually curious about this. This is also on Tenda, and it's a little mag-fed bolt action JW22 long rifle hiker, and I don't know, it was like $280, $290, I think. Let me scroll up. I think it's $290. Pretty sure. Yeah, there it is. $289.99. That's it. I don't know. This day and age, that's a solid price for a kind of, cheapo plinkster.
Yeah.
Call on Savage Canada. We want a B22, but like 10-inch barrel, please.
I'm really curious if this thing is any good for like $300, because it's short, it's cute, be a fun little backpacking little 22.
Considering Adriel's recent experience with a Norinco 22, I would say no.
I mean, the odds are, but you never know. Moving on, we've got a Mossberg 940 Pro Tactical SPX.
But do you want that though? First Adriel and Hef are both Mossberg haters.
Regardless of, well, depends on the usage.
Second, I've witnessed the amount of, again, pump guns work well.
Yes.
Semi-autos,
they work well when they get cleaned a lot. So, all right.
I've heard the 940s has been improved compared to the 930s, but I don't know.
I have heard the same. Let me get on my soapbox because I love Mossberg as a company. Mossberg hasn't had to do a recall. But I'm just saying that their pump guns are fantastic. Their semi-auto guns are still, works in progress. And a lot of folks don't clean them well, and sometimes they are a little finicky. And there are, I don't know, there's better semi-autos out there for, $1,500, but this one's on sale for $1,400. Maybe that's your price point. Check it out.
Well, and I'll preface my opinion
with... How much is a
1301? 1301, you're probably looking like $1,500-$1,600.
Yeah, but that's for a gun that's going to work forever.
It's a gas gun. You still got to clean it.
Oh, you still got to... No, obviously.
Yeah. So, but no, I'll preface my opinion, because I've been very vocal about my opinion of Mossberg and 930s, 940s, and 590s. That's on a pure competition 3-gun basis.
Yeah.
It all depends on usage. I mean, would I grab an 18.5-inch shotgun? Not for what I do, no. But it's out there for a reason. It's got a purpose. It's just not competition.
No, if something goes bump in the night, that might be the thing you go grab, right?
Yeah,
but you don't want to jam it.
I trust Becky to never jam.
Well, here's the thing with a lot of the guns you're going to see out on the range that are having issues are ones that have been tweaked for competition.
Yeah.
There are ones that have been done good and been maintained good, and then there's ones that have been let go. Yes, there are factory guns that are just plain not good. 930. But I do agree that I've heard that the 940 improved. I did see on posts that it fell apart on a match, but this is also a new model. Been out for a few years. Bump in the night. You don't do a bunch of pile of race go fast parts on that. You keep that in good condition. You go shoot out every now and then. Yep. You make sure it's clean and ready to go.
Yep. Like all things. I mean,
it doesn't wear out with usage because hopefully you're not having to use your bump in the night gun all the time.
Yeah. It's, it is a tool, and tool in the right use and maintained going to be a good tool forever.
Yeah.
I stand by that. I would never take my 590. I have taken it to a match, but only as a severe backup gun. That's a cylinder bore 8-round 20-inch shotgun isn't my first choice.
Never mind the lift gate.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
But lift gate is great. You can just drop rounds in it. It's very quick. At least it's very comfortable.
It ain't quick, I'll tell you.
No.
When you're loading singles, it's pretty okay.
All right.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so we've rambled on about Mossberg enough. Looks like there's a free
cool.
online target maker app at
This
magdump.ca.
is
cool.
effing awesome. I love it. Thank you, MagDump. You have all the things.
Please elaborate.
Yeah, tell us about this.
I didn't put it here. I think Adriel probably did, but like, what you can make all the things. Cool. It's great.
Nice, and it looks like it's printing them out in like 8.5 by 11, so you can just like make your targets and.
Oh yeah, you can.
I dig that.
That is.
We even support A4 paper. Wow, we even have the European
great.
People considered in here.
Cool.
Well, you can have it in millimeters. You can have it metric. You can have it imperial. You can have it whatever way you want.
Tony's way too excited about this.
Oh yeah.
All right. Finally, Bullseye North has the crypto receiver sets for 1K. That's interesting. It might be thumbing the nose at the old government there just a little bit, but cool.
Just a little bit.
It's very designed for the newest version of the Canadian firearm laws.
Only accepts 1 point.
There's a specific thing that they might just be ignoring.
I think we'll just not elaborate on that. There's 1 point there, but
yeah. Well, I tip my hat to Bullseye North, and I hope
they were a long-time supporter of the show, and absolutely, do what you can,
do what they can while they can. This is not financial advice, but invest in crypto, I guess. I don't know. This is
3Gun 2025 open division.
All right. So that concludes new gun stuff for the week. And with that, we will move on to our main topic. And this week for our main topic, we have Kyle here to tell us about
so figured, I don't know who's all interested, but I'll do more of a recap of the Superstition match this year. So I kind of laid out a little bit of an outline. We'll see how well I can stay on that. So just an overall breakdown of the match. It was their 30th anniversary match, and I think they did a good job. The pretty much every stage, I think there was one, which once we go through the stages here, we'll see, but are repeats from previous years. So they took a stage from a bunch of different years, and then that was the match. And well laid out. It seemed like it was a different style of match this year. It was a lot there was one, we'll call it, well, there was an open terrain stage, but there wasn't a ton of movement. The stage plans for the most part were pretty simple. There were a few where, you either had to have timing and your footing, and there was some where there was a bunch of different ideas on how to approach the stage. But for the most part, like you didn't have to do a lot of intensive stage walking on this match.
How many stages in total?
There were 11 stages. So that's right on par. They're usually like 11, 12 stages.
And you shoot it over 2 days?
3 days. So they run a half-day format. And because of previous years where we would do the Thursday night Cactus Tactical match and usually do like 7 o'clock up at Ben Avery, we decided instead of going home and then having to get up early in the morning Friday morning, we'd shoot the afternoon squad on Friday. So both schedules, AM and PM on Friday, shot 4 stages. And then on Saturday, the morning schedule shot 4 stages, and the afternoon schedule actually shot 5 stages.
Ooh,
and that is because on Sunday, just to line everything up with the time that they can start and when they want to do awards, there are 5 time slots.
Oh.
So basically, if you were on the schedule that we were on, where we shot PM, AM, and then we were the early start on Sunday because we were the first to start on Sunday, and we were the last to finish on Sunday because we shot 3 stages on Sunday, where the schedule that shot the 5 on Saturday afternoon only shot 2 on Sunday. And we ended up with about an hour break in between stages. But on Sunday, they just if the previous squad's done and you're done, or your whole squad's there, you go. So we got to start like 20 minutes early on a couple stages there. So, yeah, I went through stage design. Well, we'll go a little bit more in depth on the stage design here in a minute. But yeah, so that schedule, I like it, especially if you want to go and do something. They used to do the full day schedule where you'd have an hour or two between stages and you were just at the range all day.
Yeah, that's
when they had a lot of vendors there. That was awesome. Like Timney would have their trailer there, so I'd go out, hang out at the Timney trailer on my off time, check out a bunch of the vendors. Like there used to be like 511 there, and everybody like to actually do some shopping there. But the vendors they've been hit and miss on that. Like Timney still had a booth this year. That's been a couple of years since they've set up a booth, and they've since gotten rid of the trailer. There was Luth AR. There was Ear Pro guy, and that was actually pretty much it for the vendors this year.
Do you think,
or Briley is always has their trailer set up outside? Yeah.
Do you think they just don't see enough sales at those things to justify it, or is somebody just didn't organize them?
I don't know what it is. It might be that they don't see enough sales, especially, and that's the thing with going to, which you'd think you might get more with the AM PM schedule.
Yeah,
I think once people are done shooting, they go
right
without a thought. And it's not, I got nothing better to do, might as well go to the vendor area and check stuff out. I don't know. I haven't asked the question on how sales do at these things. So it might be schedule where, yeah, you had more on the full day schedule because people aren't going to go anywhere when you only have an hour before you shoot.
Yeah.
But last few years, it's been kind of down, up, down on the vendors. It would be really cool to see more vendors there, because pretty much every year I buy something from one of the vendors. Last year, I was buying from Briley at a couple different matches. This year, I bought from Luth AR. You know, I usually try and find something at a vendor table to buy, like something interesting, not that to buy, to, you know, maybe make it semi worth it, or at least go around and talk to them.
Yeah,
show some interest in their stuff and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know why they were down, because I think they grabbed new sponsors this year. There was more sponsors this year, and they grabbed some new ones, because I don't recall Loophole ever sponsoring it before. I could be wrong, but Loophole was a big time sponsor, and I won't even dare going through all the sponsors. That's one that stood out to me, because there's a lot of Loophole stuff. I don't recall seeing that there before. But they have a huge list of sponsors. Thank you to all those sponsors for sponsoring the match. It's truly amazing. But we'll get back to stage design. So stage 1 was from 2011, and that one was fairly straightforward. I unfortunately don't have the digital, but I'll hold this up. If people want to see, they can freeze frame. So you had started on the one side and pistol. You had like 6 target papers just through ports, and then 6, 7, and then you had a field of poppers that activated 2 no shoots in front of a car, and they were long no shoots that basically covered all the back rifle paper. And so then you go to the car, grab your rifle, and basically from behind the car you had like 8 rifle paper to engage. And then after that, after you engage those, and those were with the swinging no shoots in front of the car, and they covered the center. You only had 2 on the sides that weren't covered by no shoot. And so the timing was pretty key on that. And then you basically, from the back of the car, breach a door. They have this door that you put a clay in, and once you break the clay, the door swings open. Texas Star through a port, another popper through a port, and finish off with 4 poppers, just bang, 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 get them down. So that was a fun stage. A little cautious on the rifle on that one. All match, I just had issues driving my rifle. I was not as aggressive with it as I felt like I should have. But I did all right. Like it was still all right. Stage 2 is called Black Hawk Down, and that was from 2010. And so you had a bunch of barrels set up and 5 poppers on either side of your shooting area there. And then you had a helicopter which you had to pull a dummy out of and shoot like 4 pistol paper and a bunch of rifle. I will show the drawing.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I found on that I could top up my shotgun right off the bat. And I found one position which was like basically 1.5 steps from your start position where I could see 5 of the poppers, 3 on the left, 2 on the right.
Heck yeah.
And then I was able to take the rest of them on the move and not stop, because there was then 2 on the left, 3 on the right, and I was able to just take them on the move. Dump the shotgun. The dummy was actually very light, which was nice. So just grabbed him out of the helicopter, threw him in his receptacle, threw him in his box, and drew pistol. And they made you use the full port on the helicopter, as if you find a stage and there's some weird little corner or something, they're gonna make you go to that corner.
Yep.
Not very few times is like, oh, I found a way that I don't have to go there. Chances are they're gonna put something there that you have to go there. And then the rifle, I was happy with my time on this one, but somehow 2 wide open rifle targets I completely missed, like airmailed.
Huh.
And they weren't far. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, completely airmailed. So yeah, that was basically 20 seconds of penalties on a short stage. So yeah, that hurt.
Yeah.
I think I looked at it and it was going to be something. It was going to be a top 10 run.
Yep.
Without those, I can't remember if it was this one or another one that was going to be a top 5 run. But on those short stages, that just kills you. That knocked me down to 20th on that stage. Stage 1, I got 11th on.
Nice.
So, stage 3, this one, I think this was probably the high value stage, I'll say. So, it was a series of activators.
Okay.
So like a Rube Goldberg. That was what this stage was. So you stood on this board that they called it the hoverboard. And so it was like a stomp plate, but it was a reverse stomp plate. It activated once you left it.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So you had 3 paper and 4 poppers with your pistol. Dump your pistol. Your rifle was staged off to the side. I will show the picture once I get through the description of it, and then I'll describe it a little bit more, because there was a lot going on this stage. So you'd step off, have to grab your rifle. On the left side, you'd have a max trap and a clamshell. Then on the right side, you had 2 double stack targets. So you had paper, no shoot, paper, but then there was 2 no shoots that would swing in front of the 2 lower papers.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a triple drop turn target on that side. And all this stuff activated once you stepped off the hoverboard. And then there was some targets strewn in there. So I will hold up this.
So you have to be, because with some of those no shoots, the ones that kind of like that trigger and then go in and out and in and out, you kind of have to be quick on some of those.
They didn't have to. Oh, on the previous stage, they weren't super fast, but you saw them out of the corner of your eye, and I a couple times, like you got your peripherals got to be working. You can't be just looking through your scope, because by the time you see it through your scope, chances are you're going to hit it.
Yeah. So
these ones, they just dropped and stayed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these didn't swing out. They just dropped and stayed. So it was very critical, because if you had anything go wrong right off the bat, that was basically 5 targets, at least a third of the targets you're screwed on.
Yeah.
Like there were ways on a couple of them, but the triple drop turn you didn't. One of the low ones that got blocked by a no shoot you didn't. Clamshell you didn't. Or sorry, clamshell. I always get confused on clamshell and max trap. I'll call it one of those two you were screwed on. So we sat there and watched it. Okay. Sorry, try and get back on track. And so stepping off the hoverboard triggered the first target, so we'll call it the clamshell, which then in turn triggered the max trap, which then pulled a pin on a bowling ball that rolled down a track that hit an actual stomp pad, which then activated the drop turn and the fallout targets. So you actually had about 7 seconds from stepping off before the last target activated.
Yeah, there's like a very specific cadence you're supposed to shoot at.
Yeah, and this is where I wish I was on my rifle pushing, because I almost got hurt real bad on this one, because I just was not able to get right up. But I got the max trap, I got the clamshell. Well, the clamshell I took a failure to neutralize on, because I got one shot on target and it was like an inch out of the A zone, and I knew I saw the no shoot coming up, and I airmailed the second one just off its shoulder, as trying to avoid that. Got over to the right side, and of course, with the time on that, I ended up doing a contingency plan, but didn't plan on it. Because I was like, okay, you triple drop turn. That was the target. You had lots of time on that. So the lower targets, the dropouts, I went left, right, which turned out it was the good thing to go, because by the time I got to the right-hand target, the no shoot was out. So I went to the drop turn, and I just on the bat figured, oh, I can run to the front corner and I can see like a 2-inch piece of brown between two no shoots.
Right. Yeah.
And got him in there.
Nice.
So, and then the rest of it was just move to one position and take out 5 more targets. So I won FTN on that one. It should have been faster. Like I shot it in 30 seconds. The fastest was Nils in 2-gun. He shot it in 17 seconds.
Whoa.
That's
And
fine.
then actually second place overall on that stage was a junior shooter. He actually took top junior. He's a shooter for Timney, Brandon Hargis. And he shot it in 19 seconds. Like just blazed it down. So like that, and you watched, and if you were on, which by this time in the match, I knew I wasn't quite on, so I took the safer route. Like we sat there and we had everything timed out. We knew what time between this and this and this and this happening, and this is just the plan we came up with. Is just safe, because there was major disaster factor on this one.
Right.
But fun, super fun stage. Absolutely. We'll go on to stage 4, which this one was a new one for this year. They called it never been done before. New for 2025. This was the final stage of the match for us. This is where we finished. And let's say going into Sunday, I had shot 8 stages and I had only 2 penalties.
Wow.
I had a missed steal and a failure to neutralize going into Sunday with 3 stages left to go.
So you're feeling pretty good.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not performing quite where I want, but I'm happy. I'm real happy. Well, I saved everything for Sunday.
Oh no.
Sunday was not, I'll say it wasn't great. And that was, we shot stage 2, 3, and 4 on Sunday. So on stage 4, right off the bat, my rifle decided to go bolt action.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you started at a car. You had 4 targets at distance ranging from 300 to 420 yards. Then you had some intermediate that were like, I don't know, 80 yards. I didn't even bother ranging those ones. And then you had some paper. So at the car, you had 3 paper. And so from the car, you would shoot 3 paper and the long distance. Then you had a side-by-side where you had 3 more paper, and then you had the 4 intermediate targets. And then you had just run walkway with all the pistol finishing on a plate rack. So I'll put up the design here. Doesn't really represent the stage
I bet
overly
this
well.
doesn't do it justice.
No, it doesn't. But so I come up from the car, and I was going to do the 2 paper on the right, get down on the hood, shoot through the car for the long range, transition to 2 more just across the hood, and then come up on my 45s to get the last paper leaving that position.
Right.
So grab my rifle, come out, and first shot, failure to feed. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I didn't download that mag enough. Rack, single shot. And the whole position at that car was just single shot. And it was frustrating. So got the 2 paper on the right, got down on the car, hit I think it was like 330, bang, first shot, perfect. 420, first shot, hit, perfect. Spun, got up, spun, hit the paper, forgot about the other 2 targets at 315 because of just my brain was just scattered. And so I had to have 2 FTEs on that, which are 15 seconds apiece. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's 30 seconds of penalties right there. And then ran up to the side-by-side, got the paper there, got the 4 flashers, the intermediate range, dumped my rifle, and like this was actually a stage I really like because I could get out and stretch my legs. Like there was distance between, so that's, you watch me shoot 3-gun, that's what I like doing. I like being able to do those quick bursts.
Yeah.
Got the paper cleared, got to the plate rack, of course, because of my issues, Russian, so was a little sloppy on the plate rack. That stage I ended up finishing 31st. Oh yeah, on stage 3 I ended up 16th on. So with that. So yeah. Stage 2 I had those, so it has 25 seconds of penalties. So just right there, I added 60 seconds of penalties just on Sunday. And going into Sunday, I was at 15 seconds.
Oh, that's brutal, man.
So yeah, I just saved everything for the last day. But yeah, no, there are still fun stages. The rifle really pisses me off. Like my mental errors, okay, you know what? I just gotta get better. I was sharing my gun, so Jay was shooting after me on that stage. And so right away, okay, well, we'll pull the bolt. Maybe it got dirty. There's been 2 of us shooting it. Like we did a deep clean on it Friday night. We only shot 4 stages the day, Saturday. Yeah. It should be fine. Pulled the bolt. It was clean. Okay, so whatever. We threw some, I didn't dive too deep on it on that day. We did throw some oil on the bolt. Yeah. Jay went out and it ran.
Okay.
So Jay on a previous stage, I think it was like stage 2 or 3, it was doing it to him, but it worked fine for me. So we were thinking, oh, maybe it's his mag. He changed his mag. And then, yeah, I went out and it was stage 3 because the very next stage it went down on me, but then ran fine for Jay. So I got to tear into that because it acted dirty. Like it had troubles pulling the bullet off the out of the mag. And my second position rifle, it ran. So
right. Yeah, so
I don't know. It's going to take some digging.
Bind?
It's a captured buffer.
Yeah, JP?
No, unrivaled.
Unrivaled, right.
So I don't know. I will be doing some digging and figure that out before Texas.
So I have a couple of questions before you move on. I'm just kind of curious, because again, you're playing at a different level than I do, for now. But for yourself, like looking back on some of that, what are some of the things that you think you could do as far as like mental preparation for when stuff like that goes wrong to like help yourself out? Like, have you done like a just sort of like a self-analysis on that? Like what in the mental preparedness chain maybe broke down that could be fixed just for,
well, actually on this one, I think one thing that would have helped, and it's something that I failed on, because that was one of the stages I didn't walk. Everyone, I hadn't walked this stage. This was one of the stages I hadn't walked and didn't get really a chance to. And everyone that I've talked to, like I talked to my pro shooter buddies, everybody, even other people who like novice shooters was, yeah, no, there's nothing to it. So everyone I talk to, oh yeah, no, it's piece of cake. You don't need to worry about that. There's not a lot of planning to that. That being said, there was some planning because I had to decide where on the car I was supporting and how I was going to approach those long range targets.
Right.
And so I think if I had walked it and I had that stage plan solid in my head, which going to shoot IPSC, you got 5 minutes. You can't pre-walk the stages like at a world shoot. So that is a skill I need to work on, is within that 5 minutes, get your plan and have it solid in your head.
Right.
Like I think I was the third shooter up on that stage. So once again, not a lot of time, but sometimes you're going to have to do that 5 minutes and be the first shooter.
Yep.
So if anything, that's what I would say, so that's just locked in, so that while my mind goes off over here, I don't have to think about the stage plan because it's already set.
Right.
Right. The other stuff, well, I was actually very happy on being able to come up with the contingency right on the fly.
Yep.
That is something I've been half decent. I would like to say I've been decent at, where if something doesn't quite go to plan, I know the targets are, so I can come up with a plan off of that. Like we had a contingency plan on the left side, but hadn't even really thought about the right side on those droppers.
Right.
So yeah, it just comes down to getting that stage plan in your mind. And just while you're resetting, rehearsing it. Close your eyes, go through the stage, visualize every target, every sight picture. And that is something I'm working on, is visualizing the sight picture, not just the sequence.
Right.
Right. So I can sit there and I can visualize the sequence. You see, I go through every motion behind the line, eyes closed, but I'm now working on, especially with the long range, what am I wanting to see in that reticle when I'm breaking that shot?
Right.
So, and that's just going to help further ingrain it, so that when stuff does go south, like I'm trying to eliminate basically any thinking, having everything. That's why I went to the 36-yard zero, which, spoiler, I like it. I think it worked out really well. I think it really helped me in this match. Because my long range was, compared to last year, night and day.
Really?
Yeah. We'll get further into it as we get down the stages, but night and day. So this match was weird because normally we give ourselves like the Thursday, go first thing in the morning, go zero, confirm zero on rifles, and then go walk stages all day Thursday, have them videoed. This time we gave ourselves 2 days, and I didn't spend as much time walking stages as when I left it to 1 day. So something we'll get to figure out. Because when you have the option to walk those stages, it's beneficial to take that time and walk them and get your plan in place. That being said, our first stage, walked on the stage, got looking at it, grew a pair, and threw out my plan and went with what I felt was the plan to do, which actually we're coming up to next. So awesome. That was stage 4, finish off the match. Good stage to finish on. It was the Timney sponsored stage. Wish I could have done better on the Timney sponsored stage, but it's learning experience. It's all good. Stage 5 was called Murder Inc. from 2020. This one was a pistol shotgun option. Basically, you had to start out with your shotgun in your hand, but you didn't have to, and you had to have one round in it, whether it was in the tube, chamber, whatever. You didn't have to shoot it. So off the left-hand side, split up between some barrels, you had a plate rack. Hard right at the back, you had a couple poppers. Then you had one of these infamous alleyways that I was talking about, where you had to bury in for a little popper. Texas Star, a couple more poppers, and then right at the end, you had a barricade with a cutout, where you had 4 little mini coffin poppers, and then at 50 yards, you had these, I think they're 12 by 18 plates at 50 yards from that front barricade. And so my original plan going into this, after seeing those targets, I was like, no way am I messing with shooting pistol at 50 yards. You couldn't stage your shotgun anywhere else on the stage. And so once the gun's abandoned, it's dead. It's done. So at that point, I was like, okay, this is a shotgun stage. There's enough space in between positions that you can reload, so it shouldn't be a hang up on reloading, but it was a little on the tighter side. And so with a 54-inch shotgun, it would have been interesting. It wouldn't have been bad, but it would have been interesting. A little more cumbersome. I kept looking at it, and I was like, this is a pistol stage. The only reason why I'm shooting shotgun is because of those 50-yard plates. Because I was going to take those with slug.
Yeah.
And so I decided that, I'll actually, before I get into how I shot it, and it looks more wide open than it was.
Yeah, I can see how it could be narrow, like built to be narrower.
Yeah. So, like the barricade, they made it so you had to get down to the lowest corner to see one of the poppers. You couldn't just stand there and get all four. Like, hey, I expect that. But so I ended up taking the plate rack and the 2 rear poppers with my shotgun. Because then I could transfer my shotgun to my left hand, dump that as I was pulling my pistol to dump into the alleyway to get that little hidden popper. Which, by the way, those steel there was a lot of steel that were really close this year. Like I'd say pushing 7 yards, if not less. Like,
really?
Yeah. But that one was nice because you had to go in there, but with this you cut corners. So shot at that, kept going around in front of the barrels and ran over to the start, because otherwise you have back out. So okay, step and a half to back out, but then they had a barrel you had to go around to get to the port with the Texas Star. So cleared the Texas Star, no problem. Got the 2 poppers on the right side, and then up at the front port, I got the 4 down low, settled in, and I think I had 2, maybe 3 makeup shots, if that, at the 50-yard steel. I was able to get my pistol shots on there. So happy with that. It was a good start to the match. I ended up getting 16th place on that stage for the division. So yeah, considering I don't do 50-yard shots, that's other firearm territory. I was happy. Stage 6 was from 2013, called A Hot Day in the Valley. And this one was there's some interesting options, because you had started with your pistol, you had 2 paper and a plate rack. Dump your pistol, grab your rifle. You had 3 really close angled paper, that just hoser paper, and from there you could take 2 of the farther, which I'd put them, I don't know, 30, 40 yards. And then you had 6, you had a bunch of paper down the right-hand side, bunch of paper down the left, and you had basically through the barrels. Then your final shooting area, you had a plate rack that was like 50, 60 yards. And then you had 3 steel at 270, 230, and 290. So that's what that stage looks like there.
Okay.
And overall, so once again, happy with my plan on that. Took a bit of time on the rifle, because this was the first long range of the match, and that I need work on acquiring my targets. I am much better with the long range right now, but I need to get faster at acquiring the targets. Like the plate rack was fine. I actually feel like I had good speed on that, but the 3 distance ones, while I got first round hits on them, took me a little bit.
Okay.
It took me some time to do that. And so that's where I lost some time. I ended up 19th place on that stage, clean. And so yeah, I mean, there was definitely time out there, but overall, not bad. Stage 7 was from 2014, Anas Diazi Hunt, and it was a boat stage. So it was a shotgun rifle stage, and you had basically you were standing in the boat, and you off the left you had a popper with 2 clay targets on swingers. Then you had 4 poppers with toasters there. And then you had a basic, like I called it the field of steel, like 9 poppers laid out in kind of like a Christmas tree kind of formation. And then up on the bank at 80, you had just some smaller steel plates. Like I think they were like maybe 12-inch steel plates. and then out 335 yards, you had 2 long-range steel. So the picture doesn't quite reflect what was there, and it shows the 2-gun stuff there as well. There was some paper and whatnot on the right-hand side of the stage that was for 2-gun. And this one went all right. Like the shotgun went decent, got all my aerials, everything. Rifle went decent. Obviously, as always, want to shoot it faster, but got all my hits, and everyone was going off like the window in front of the helm, and it had a slanted window, and I was tossing around the idea of either dropping to my knees and basically getting down off the gunnel, or even sitting. You can't test out the position before you actually go live, so I had already through my walkthrough and that done the kneeling, and so it's basically you're squatting down on your knees. I decided to do it that way. I had good support. I am still semi-flexible, so it's not that big of an issue for me to get into that position where other people it might.
Right.
Not super flexible, but still semi-flexible, and it seemed to work out. And so that one I ended up placing 12th on. Once again, shot that one clean. And then our last stage for Friday was stage 8 from 2005 called Pirate Ship. And this was a cool build. I was actually really looking forward to this stage. But this one we got screwed because the winds picked up.
Oh.
And so there was probably about at least 25-mile-an-hour winds at times.
Oof.
And it's hitting this mountainside and it's swirling. Like, it's doing weird stuff. So you were up at this, I call it the bunker. Support off that, and you had 8 steel. You had 4 at 75 yards, 1 at 120, and then your other ones were at 350, 450, and 460. And so I did okay at the first position. I got them all. Then in the middle, you had a bunch of just paper. You run down this boardwalk and through ports, you had to change elevation and everything. And yeah, so that was fun. Should have done that faster. Definitely should have done that faster, but oh well. And then your last position was re-engaging all 8 of that steel. I got to that last position, and my holds at the first position, from what I figured, were way off what I had done on my theoretical dope. And so I was trying everything, and it wasn't doing what it did before, and it wasn't with my dope or anything. The wind was just messing with everything. I went and said against what I said to myself I was going to do. I was like, 3 or 4 per target, move on. No, I went to war, so I actually ended up timing out on that stage at 180 seconds, and I had 1 steel that I had not hit.
Oh.
I think it was the 450, because I got the 460 target, but the 450 yard target was still unengaged. Well, no, I engaged it, but it was just unhit.
Right.
And so yeah, that one hurt. And yeah, but on placing it wasn't, number 4 was my worst for placing. But yeah, so there was more people that got messed around on that one, but yeah, so that one was bad. And so 10-second penalty, I ended up 23rd on that stage. Then going into Saturday morning, we had stage 9. It was from 2018. Oh, I didn't show the picture of that, did I?
No.
So that was...
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, you can see my distances written there and everything. But
Love
so
it.
yeah, it was a fun stage. Absolutely fun. Wish I could have performed it better.
I'm curious, did you wear a camera for any of this? Is there any footage of this?
Yeah, so I think towards the end of Saturday, I noticed it went dead, so I think my camera's full. So I don't have my hat cam from Sunday or the last stage or 2 on, I think the last stage on Saturday. But the rest I have hat cam, and all of it I have someone with my phone behind me.
You should send some of that to Tony. I'm just going to volunteer Tony for some editing for this episode, so you can just interject some of it in so we can all see. There, Tony, you didn't have enough work to do.
Yeah, like this episode isn't long enough as is. Yeah.
Are we gonna have another episode of reviewing match
performances? I think that would be cool to do on the, especially on this one, because then you can like, especially with the Rubik Goldberg and all that. It was a cool match. So stage 9 was Raka Riot from 2018. You shooting inside this helicopter, 2 ports, and you had to field a steel with 2 Texas Stars blocking by barrels. Interesting with this is 2018 was the first year I went to Superstition, and I did not remember this stage.
Huh.
Like, I do vaguely remember shooting out of the helicopter. I don't remember a stage set up like this, though. But either way, it didn't help. I got a little sloppy with my shotgun. So my plan going into it was to clear the... Because crawling around in this helicopter with my shotgun, not happy. I'm staying at one window. I'm going to shoot from there. I might do 1 reload, but then that's going. Like, I wanted to get the stars and as many of the mini poppers as I could. Because it was, once again, like, these little poppers are like that tall.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, get those with my shotgun. So I'll top off the start and then run it dry. I think I ended up throwing 1 more load in there or something. I can't remember. And then all the big poppers just do with my pistol. Like, I still should be able to do it without reloading my pistol, but my pistol's a lot easier to move down for the 3 targets from the other port that I needed to get from the other port. So that's kind of rough idea of what it was.
Okay. Yeah, that's a target-rich environment, eh?
Yeah. And so I think I had like 3 makeup shots on I think I had more than that on the Texas Star, because Star got going and started just firing, and it's amazing. You gotta look at your sights. Said that a couple times this weekend, but yeah, so that it's pretty self-explanatory. It was pretty fun. There wasn't a whole lot to it. It basically, come up with a couple ideas and then just shoot everything. Know which ones you have to shoot from what port, and then go from there. Stage 10 was from 2008, called Truck and Porch. So you started in the bed of a pickup truck. You had 6 steel that were about 50 yards for slug. And then from the ran out of the back of the truck, and you had 4 paper that were slug buckshot option, and then you had 8 steel that were buckshot. So, and then you ran up to the porch. You had 3 close paper, and then you had steel ranging from 73 yards out to like 520 yards. On this one, with this one, I figured, okay, off the start, I can have 9 in my gun. That gives me 3 makeups. Well, 2 makeups, because there was paper that had a no-shoot half on it that I decided I want to shoot a slug at that. I don't want to shoot buckshot at that target, because they do count per pellet. So if I have a pellet on the no-shoot, I would get the no-shoot.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I want a slug in my chamber when I run down, and that target will be the first one. So I have 2 makeups, used them, but got all my slug hits. So cool, I don't have to worry about just burning 2 rounds. Was able to just load my buck and go. That portion of it, I had like 3 different positions to get everything. Got it, no problem. Cool. Dumped the shotgun, grabbed the rifle, cleared the 2 paper with my rifle, and got into position. And the intermediate went too slow. So what I'm calling the intermediate was basically from 73 yards out to 150 yards. They had just hanging targets, easy targets, especially with my 0, hold bottom edge of the steel, you're going to get it. And so just took a little bit too long, and then got to long range, which started at 300 yards. And just off the bat, I had issues finding the target. So I started doing the whole reduced magnification, can't find the target, get on it, magnify back. But that's where the issue stopped, because I think I had 1 makeup shot on my long range on this stage. And I think that was actually like the 355, because there was 301, 355, 388, 327, and 513. So actually, I think it was a 327 one. But everything else I got first round hit on, including the 520. So I was, and this was the day after the wind where I was wondering what was going on. I finally told myself, nope, trust the dope. Trust the dope. It's calm. Let's try it again, and it worked. So yeah, it was a good confidence booster that, hey, my dope's good, had a good support. I just put the reticle where it needed to be, and it hit. Awesome.
Beautiful.
So we'll put that one up here. Hardly represents the stage, but
no.
Targets hiding or camouflage, or are they like a opposite color?
It was interesting because there's one paper that was kind of off the side, and you could take it right away, but you better be on or not using buckshot because it was right where your rifle was staged.
Oh.
So if you were if you shot like 4 inches left, you were gonna hit your rifle. You were gonna shoot your own gun. So I did that going into my last position, which was right in front of the dump barrel, which gave it lots of space for the buckshot, because I was I was at buckshot at that. So they weren't hidden. It's just there was a couple positions where, okay, you have to shoot this before here. You got to shoot this from here, because you do hide stuff from barrels. Don't just leave it just wide open. But yeah, overall that was decent. I ended up placing, actually this was my best stage of the match. Actually, I placed 9th in my division on this stage, and I had an FTN on one of the rifles. I rushed the 45-degree sights a little bit on the close stuff, getting into position, and I had an FTN on that. So yeah, 9th place on that stage. Stage 9 I didn't say, I had 14th on that. And then the last stage of the match was a fun one, and they always like to do a stage, like there's usually at least like one memory stage. This one wasn't so much a memory stage as a foot placement stage. Like this one, you had to have your foot placement. So they had the massive star. They called it Red Star Rising, and it's from 2019. Once again, don't remember the stage. I went to 2019. Don't remember it. And I think there was a way, but they had the spinner right up front. So basically you had to do 360 degrees, and they made it so pretty much for the most part, you had to go to every point of the star.
Oh.
So you had the spinner up front, 4 paper, 6 poppers on either side. You had 8 rifle steel that were probably about 60 yards, I'd say. And those had to feel the barrels. So you saw 1, saw 2, then shift. You saw another 1. Couple steps, you saw another 2, shift, you saw another 1, and then bury into another corner for 1. And then out back, you had like 5 poppers. You had 2 paper right in the middle, where you had to be quite wide apart because it was a very narrow opening for that, and then like 3 poppers off the left side. So I'll put up the picture here.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is a lot of barrels.
That's a ton of barrels.
Yeah, it is. And it was super fun. So I had decided to start right up front with my rifle, take the paper, and then take the first rifle steel, run to the middle of the first point, we'll call it, and then I could see the 2 of the 3 of the first plate rack, well, the right hand plate rack, a little shift, and I got the third, like 2 steps, and I got the other plate rack, and then hard into the corner for the final steel. Need to work on my offhand. I got them all, but should have been a little bit faster. Common theme for this year. That was one of my big failings this year, was just my offhand rifle and driving the rifle. Picked up my pistol, shot the 5 steel. It was 2 steps. I was able to get the left-handed paper in the center, cut the corner. I got 2 poppers, and then turned for the second paper in the center. Turned back for the third popper on the left, just the way it worked with steps and progressing forward. Ran up to about middle part of this point. I think it was this one there. This one here. So about where my finger is there. I was able to get 4 poppers from there, and then right up front, it's not represented here, but your shotgun, there was a dump barrel and that right up the front. And I was able to get 2 poppers there, dump my pistol, grab my shotgun, clear the spinner, which a lot of people are having issues with the spinner. I was able to clear it in the 3 shots that it should take to do it. 3 poppers, ran back to the point where I started and was able to get the other 3 poppers. So was able to execute the plan how I wanted. Yes, I wanted to do rifle faster, but executed the plan just how I wanted. I ended up with a 10th place finish on that stage. So
wow, that's
So overall, the stages were fun. There was very little pistol. There was very little pistol at this match.
Like a lot of long range.
More rifle. I feel like previous years has had more long range or more challenging long range. But no, like, yeah, there was a bunch of rifle. You shot more rifle than anything, but you were fairly shotgun heavy, but it wasn't super difficult shotgun. Lots of options this year, which was cool. It was cool having the option targets. My final placing, I ended up getting 16th in tactical for this. So probably my best finish actually at Superstition. Percentage is the same, but it was a better placing this year. And I think overall just a better performance. I took less penalties, especially going into Sunday, like 2 stages with 1 penalty each. I was extremely stoked after that. And, gear malfunction on 4th, that really chokes me. But much better in the long range, except for in nasty winds that you couldn't predict anything in those winds. There are people who got them. I was not one of those people. So, but yeah, overall, good match. Awesome sponsors. And yeah, that's basically, unless you guys got any more questions on Superstition and the week.
No, I think you gave us a pretty good play-by-play there, honestly.
Yeah.
I bet we will see more at the video reviews too.
Yeah, we'll do a little video breakdown, get together and do that at some point here.
Awesome.
But it's, as always, I feel it's a must-attend event. It's still on my list that sometimes I wish it was later in the year so that I was more practiced up for the match. It wasn't like the first major of the year, but on the same token, it's kind of cool. There was 350 shooters that finished the match, so it's still like the largest attended match, pretty much.
That's huge. 350 shooters.
Going into it, there was 385 registered. It's usually just under 400 person match. So, like I said, it's still like the highest attended 3-gun match.
Do you need to work the match like IPSC?
No, you don't. It is self-reset, so your squad resets the stage. And the staff there, I had it on my list. The staff there, as always, are fantastic. If you have a question, just ask. There are some that they're really scared. They don't want to make a mistake, so they might call range master, or like we were on their last stage and guys were asking for permission. Hey, can we swap our lower, because they were sharing a lower, and that, we better call the range master. That's like, I kind of looked at them. Well, all due respect, they've been doing it all match. Like, okay. Yeah, I guess we're probably good then.
Yeah.
But no fault of his. He just wants to make sure.
Yeah, the
verification. Sorry, right?
Yeah, I didn't see any favoritism or nothing. I had, there was one on one of my stages where I arbitrated at the stage because he was about to give me 2 FTEs. The RO, that was the stage that I left 2 wide open paper and just, I don't know how, but airmailed them. The RO with the shot timer said, no, at the center, he engaged everything from the center position. Okay, so it's just the other one. I'm like, well, I could see myself missing that because it was a hard left side, shoot 2, swing, shoot 1 through the helicopter, and then drive deep into the other side. And it was that one on the swing before driving deep that he was saying was an FTE. Okay, well, I thought I got it, but whatever. I'm not going to argue it. Went back, watched the video, saw me turn, shoot. Oh, yes, I engaged that. Okay, so went to him. Hey, I watched the video. Like to show you, I did engage that target. I just suck at shooting. And so after the stage, he wanted to keep going. And so after the stage was done, he was kind enough while the other squad was doing walkthrough. We watched the video. We counted the shots, everything. He said, okay, cool. I'll give it to you. Shots are there. There's at least that minimum amount of shots there. And I can see you turn and you shot through the helicopter at that target. So yeah, we'll give it that. So hands down to the staff. They're awesome. They come through the week, shoot the match. And if anybody shot a staff match, you don't shoot your best at a staff match.
Yeah.
So something to do with it. It's just when you're in that squad environment in the competition, it just changes everything. So yeah, hands down to all the staff. Absolutely awesome. We got a little bit behind on Saturday with some long range. People were having issues with the 500 and on that slug buckshot stage, but still wasn't bad. I think overall we ran an hour behind on that, but so
that's not the end of the world.
So no, that was like the one issue. The rest of the time we shot early. So
honestly, like the stage designs look like a absolute blast. Like definitely stressing at all of the different like things that you can kind of disciplines. Thank you. That was brain fart, but I think that's really, really cool. And some of the props you guys get to play with, that's pretty awesome. I mean, there's not
they have 2 helicopters on site.
I know. I was like, come on. How many times are you gonna get shoot from 2 different helicopters?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had. I mean, it's one of the longest running matches around. So
it's 30 years. Think about it.
Yeah,
it's
30 years.
Like how I don't even know 3-gun would have existed in like 90. They said 96. So
Superstition Mountain was made as an alternative to the Soldier of Fortune matches. If I recall correctly, I did get educated on this last year because I used to think that Superstition came out of the Soldier of Fortune, but that I was wrong. I think I was told it was the Rocky Mountain actually came out of the Soldier of Fortune.
Okay.
And so it might have been one of the other ones, but I think it was Rocky Mountain. I got told it at Rocky Mountain.
I heard it from a friend of mine.
Yeah, but I'll have to talk to Matt when I'm Passamatic when I'm back up in for Rocky Mountain and confirm that. But yeah, so yeah, one of the longest running matches, and they put on a great time. I know there's been stuff through the years because what is it? IMA rule set, International Multi-Gun Association. It's the only one around that I know is IMA, but I don't have issues. It's very close to USPSA. It's always a great time. I recommend anybody, if you can't, go shoot that match. We had 15 Canadians come down, and other stuff aside, every single one of them said, we want to come back. And that's why I have so much more stuff at my place, is because people are going to be coming back. And so we're making it so that they don't have to do all the build and everything when they first get here. It's already done and set up.
Sweet. So when I want to come embarrass myself next year, Hotel Kyle. And
well, it's not where I live. We will go we will get the not Airbnb, but Airbnb type place, because I refuse to give Airbnb money.
I completely agree. Yeah.
So
I'm right there with you.
It's called the Superstition Mountain Canadian Division Warehouse.
So yeah, we basically I think there was 3 people that weren't Canadian on our squad, and then there was like 5 people on the other squad. Like we could have easily taken up an entire squad plus some.
That's weird.
And shout out to IWI for the other squad that right after the December ban, they got on the horn. Unfortunately, Timney didn't have anything that we could use, but IWI stepped up and they said, yes, we will be more than happy to provide you guys with your own gun. What would you like to shoot?
That's so cool.
And at first they were supposed to have a chaperone, but then they showed up and it was basically, okay, show up, get your gun. It's yours for the week, and then return it after the match.
Here's your gun. We'll be back to collect it next week.
huge kudos to IWI for doing that. That was absolutely amazing. It just goes to say all these companies matches, like they're great matches, they're great people, and everybody wants to see everybody shoot. And if they have a chance to say screw you to governments who don't agree, they will do it.
I think that's great.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll wrap up the coverage there because I was going to say about it for a while.
Yeah, let's move to listener feedback, of which we have very little. I don't know if there's any emails. Tony, I actually pulled up the. Oh, did I? Oh, it's over here. Oh, here we go. We've got our 2 comments from Eddie, and
we have tons of comments. What are you talking about?
Wait, what do you mean? This is from last week?
Oh,
actually, there are because
there might be shadow banning going on. I just refreshed it. Give you more.
I have 7 comments to read tonight.
It's a
okay,
lot.
Well, you know what? I'll let you guys read them then, because I can't see them all.
Okay, I'll start with M45. M40A5, sorry, I keep calling it M45, on 596 EM precision rifles. When Adriel went past the history of Cooey Winchester Savage in Canada, it reminded me of a thought I have before listening. Sometimes you all talk about Canada's rich history with firearms, but rarely is there elaboration. What about a short segment on each episode of Canadian firearm history? It could be less time than what Adriel did in guns and can give people a more valid talking point for their conversation with others.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun little side project that we probably put up alongside the podcast, say, like a brief history of Canadian firearms, part 1.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I think the few I know of is Cooey, Ross, the Huot. That's kind of a Ross.
M1 Grand.
There's a few.
M1 Grand. And then we got like some.
There's
a few.
There's some bigger companies, and then like you get into things that are here now. Yeah, right. Like talk about Colt Canada. Talk about Savage.
Yeah, I like the idea for an episode, but that one will be something that we will have to do research for.
Yep.
Not something we can just throw together.
No, I think that could, either be...
Unless anybody knows a Canadian gun history buff that could just spout off everything.
There's got to be somebody out there.
Yeah. If you have a suggestion for a Canadian gun history buff that you'd like to see on the show, send us an email. Link us up.
Yeah, it's slamfireradio@gmail.com.
There we go.
All right, continuing on, Tony.
All right, now we have the barrage from Eddie. Eddie, if we didn't read some of them, let me know, because I'm curious about it, because I'm looking at the admin panel, and after I did a refresh, there were more that came up. So first 3 from the emergency episode, the Universal Model 1022 name creates a lot of confusion. There's only one slash away differentiating it from the Ruger's 10/22, with Bose model being a carbine and many generic copy of the Ruger 1022. It only adds to confusion. I will agree with that. Although it's funny, I did a quick search on it. I couldn't really find a Ruger Model 10. I imagine that the 1022 is like a shrink down 22 version of the Ruger Model 10, like how you would say the 1911/22, things like that. So I just thought it's a little funny. But
I thought it was because of the 10-round mag.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That might be
what it is.
That might very likely be.
That's what I always thought. I'm easily wrong.
I guess
we need a firearms
I don't know why they don't.
I need an adult.
Yeah, I need an adult. I don't know why they don't call it the what do you call that? Rotary magazine 22. So it'll be called an R20 anyway.
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, true. Dustin, I've been hearing a lot of defeatist attitude from gunnies lately with all the attention on the liberals selecting big banker Carney. I sure hope you guys are correct about the polling. I have to admit, I'm starting to worry, as only a majority CPC government can stop the confiscation.
So
here,
Dustin,
go ahead first.
Well, no, okay. Look, There's a lot. Much ado has been made about this, and there's a certain amount of like realism, but the reality is, look, there's a lot of froth right now. That was always going to happen. New leader, sugar high, call it what you want. This does happen. No one can predict the future, right? But I will also say that like some of this, I don't want to put a tinfoil hat on. Some of it, like along the whole way, from like the way the media has portrayed this to way some of the pollsters that have portrayed this, and I will say that some of the pollsters that have these really shocking highs for the liberals have a liberal lean, and some of their polls have been pulled apart, and you're like, okay, yeah, you're oversampling like folks in the GTA of a certain education level, which are always going to swing liberal. So there's some bias there. That isn't to say that we don't have to be worried. This looks like it's going to be a fight that we actually have to fight. That means don't be dissuaded from voting. This should motivate you to get as many people to go vote as possible, because it doesn't look like it's going to be an easy victory. But I still think that like most of the good money would agree that this is still a fight that the conservatives like should win if they pull their heads out of their butts. They need to figure out messaging. There's some things that they need to definitely do. That shouldn't dissuade you, and I mean everybody, from going out and doing, the best that you can. CCFR is going to need volunteers for anybody that wants them. It's coming. We're coming. And so, and if not that, take an opportunity to, either volunteer for like whoever your local MP is, because like all of those folks could use help, and just get involved in any way that you can. Sorry, it sounded like. Anyway, yeah, I think there's just background noise. Yeah, I don't want everybody to let like fear and this. The other thing, like a big part of where the polls, like if you look at the polls, yeah, the conservatives have lost like a little bit of that center left vote that they were probably always going to, but the big money comes from the cratering of the NDP and from the bloc. I don't know how realistic that's going to be on voting day. NDP voters tend to just vote NDP. Like if you look at all of the elections, regardless of how crappy a leader they have, they tend to maintain a pretty kind of consistent voter base. I don't know how much of that is actually going to disappear the way some of the polls have shown right now. And I think some of that will probably level out in like 30 or 40 days. We also know that Carney kind of sucks. He isn't great out in front of people. Just ask Rosemary Barton. Like you couldn't ask for somebody more sympathetic for him to snap at. And so I don't know. Nothing is guaranteed, and we all still have to like do our best and hope for the best.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything in change in the polls since Trump supposedly backed Carney? Because he's
too early. It's too early.
It's only been a few hours at this point, I think.
Yeah, it was like a day. It was yesterday. I will say so. It's been entertaining to watch some of the mental gymnastics that some of the progressives have, where like, because the second that like Elon had endorsed Pierre and all these, and Jordan Peterson supports him and all these people, like, yeah, okay, all these people he has no control over that support him, but the big scary orange man says that he supports Carney. So it's literally that meme of like the two buttons and like freak out over this, but
yeah.
like I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. It's like
I watched
conservative bad, but orange man bad too.
Yeah, I've seen some
bad by association.
Yeah, I've seen some mental gymnastics that folks are already trying to jump under. You're like, oh, he did this to help him. Like, maybe, but I mean, by your own credit, it looks like the big scary guy would rather have the multimillionaire globalist who already did what he said and moved his company to the US before he took power in the country. Seems like maybe that might not be the guy that you want in charge. Just saying, by your own logic. And so for everybody listening, I say remind people of that. Do it in whatever way that you can, but don't forget my favorite word, hypocrisy, and make sure to highlight that for everybody that likes to, wear it as their own personal cape. So yeah, I don't know. who knows, man? I can't predict the future. If I could, I'd be super rich and probably wouldn't be living here. So, yeah.
My thoughts is that first, I really like what Brian Lilly from Post Media said. He said in 3 sections, I don't quite remember the third, but polls can change, campaign matters, the first 2 parts. And the second thing is for me, especially in such a online dominant environments these days, like online people do online thing. Okay, not related, whatever. So I don't quite get the defeatist attitude, because that means, okay, we're in a dire spot. That means we gotta go harder. We gotta fight harder. We gotta try harder, right?
Too, yeah.
So I don't know. Like, go out, volunteer. You need to. If people are on the fence about voting, go vote. If people are on the fence of voting for Liberal, voting for NDPs, like, here are the things they've done, and I don't think it's beneficial, in my opinion, for the country. Things like that. So just some thoughts.
I completely agree. Voters are fickle. Polls change, and elections matter. Shout out Brian Lilly, friend of the show. No, I'm kidding. I don't think he's a friend of the show, but I couldn't not say it. It's hilarious. But yeah, no, everything that you said is true. I don't understand the we're not going to have this election handed to us, so we're going to take our ball and go home. That's a terrible attitude to have all the time. And I just don't think it benefits you or anybody else. So we're all gonna have to work for this a little bit.
Yep, for sure.
Yep, except for Kyle. Kyle doesn't have to work for this at all.
I got my own battles to work, so
it's true. It's true. And is that the last of YouTube?
No, of course not. Eddie mentioned Adriel's dog Blizzard was bombing the show at 3535. That's on the emergency episode.
Oh, it's so
of course we always see him roaming around. And on episode 596, EM Precision, Adriel, I heard about the smooth cycling on the Winchester Model 12, but I didn't know about the takedown feature. Looking forward to the review. Those lead number 4 shots would work well for pheasants.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Would they? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They might kill them 2 dead.
I mean,
I don't know.
Things 2 dead.
Aim for the head.
Works for zombies.
Regarding SIG's claim of no misfire, there's just joining the gaslighting trend. Our politicians have been doing that for years now.
Oh yeah, we've missed that news.
Oh, we did.
Being the worst offenders. Recommend the video from Brendan Herrera.
Emergency gun meme review.
Yeah, emergency gun meme review. Unfortunately,
you get the whole story there.
Not the new ATF director, but yeah, I think he did an excellent job.
I'm pretty sure I saw it in my scrolling the other night.
I still love.
I just didn't get a chance to watch it.
It's funny. I still love the P320. I would own more of them if they hadn't have made that difficult.
Is the latest version actually fixed or not?
I haven't tried. I don't drop my guns.
Fair. And Eddie, last comment. The Heritage Rough Rider probably has a manual safety added for places like California with a K.
Potentially.
I don't know. Is fellow listeners in California, is the Henry lever action guns available in your region?
I believe it's pronounced California.
Oh. Okay.
I'm just being stupid.
That is all the comments we have from YouTube this week.
All right, we're gonna blaze past the what folks bought from Cabela's, but remember that we have a Cabela's and Brownells link. Please check those out on our site. And if you're planning on buying anything from either of those places, use our link. You'll get help us out just like a tiny little bit with paying for hosting and all of that wonderful stuff, and we'll read out what you got on the show without telling folks who you are, which is kind of fun. Want to give a special thanks to our supporters on Patreon and Player. If you'd like to support us, you can find us on... Oh, you just deleted all of the platforms, Tony. Don't do that while I'm reading the teleprompter.
The teleprompter was always written in this weird way, so I thought I would fix it.
And you're just
live, instead of waiting, you'll do it live.
Yeah, do it live.
We have a Discord. You should check it out. Tony deleted that, but it's there. And I don't know what else was there.
I did not.
It did. It was right here and it's gone now.
Okay.
All right. And with that, if you would like to email the show, please send them to slamfireradio@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. I miss, listener feedback. I know show's kind of, oh no, we're almost at 600 episodes, which by the way, we're almost at 600 episodes. Big deal. 3 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So folks, come on, send us some emails.
What are we going to do for that?
I don't know. I was thinking that too.
Call the host back again?
Yeah, maybe we'll have to make Trevor come back.
I need to find someone with a Nitro 600.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. And with that, let's move on to shoutouts. Has anybody got any shoutouts?
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle.
I am going to shout out. I got a few shoutouts. So Timney and Dylan for letting a massive group of Canadians go walk through and just being all around awesome with the tours and everything. Shout out to the housemates. There was 10 of us in the house. No fights. Everyone got along great. It was absolutely amazing. I'm gonna miss you guys. I can't wait till next year. There was a few of them I hadn't seen for a couple of years since I left Canada. Some that I hadn't seen since last year at this match. Thanks for an awesome time. Even the Canadians in the other house. Good seeing you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the match and can't wait till next year. Shout out to Superstition Mountain, all the staff and the sponsors of that match for putting on, once again, an amazing match, and for all the support. Those prize tables were incredible, as always, and I know without the sponsors that doesn't happen. And so, yeah, thanks for all the support. Thanks for putting on an awesome match, and yeah, we'll call it there.
Cool. Tony, you got any shout outs?
I do. I'm going to shout out our match director for our 2 IPSC shotgun matches, David K. He is a relatively new MD, and I am really happy and thankful that he took on this challenge for 2025.
That's awesome.
Right on.
I had one that I wanted to do just because I think it got overlooked by Kyle's many shout outs. You said it was IWI that provided those guns for our Canadian brethren.
I gave him a shout out in the main topic, so
that's fair. I'm still going to give them a shout out because I think that's really cool. Because our government didn't care about those folks, but that company did. And
you know what? I'll shout out Pro2 Customs for helping facilitate the exchange and, well, not helping, for facilitating the exchange of the rifles and that.
Cool. All right. Well, join our Discord server. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Player. Join the CCFR, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Good night, Kelly.
Hey.
Good night, everybody.